An easy way to spice up your videos is to add animations to your text. Meet me in the software and I'll show you how to do it. So here in a blank project, if I come over to Elements, this is where we can add text layers. So we have text, subtitle, title. These are just different sizes as starting points, but all three of them are editable. You can change them to your own font, your own colors, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to do title to start with. And up on this menu that pops up, click on animation. And as soon as you do so, you'll have to scroll down on this right side here. And then at the very bottom, there's animation, and hit the plus button. And you have three choices: in, out, or custom. In is going to be how this layer starts. So your choices here are blur. It can start from a blur and then get sharp, spin, wipe, etc. I'm going to show you each of these as we go. Without, this is how this animation is going to end, how it's going to leave, and you have the same options here, from blur down to slide. Custom is something that you can set yourself, and I won't go into that in this video, but let's talk about these presets. So if I go to in, I'm going to do a blur, and I've now applied it. If you noticed on my timeline here, this title layer now has this little slightly grayed triangle that's letting me know that some sort of animation has been applied. So now pay attention to the canvas. I'm going to play this and we can see how that looks. So rather than just popping up all at once, it has that slight fade in, which is just a little bit softer and a little bit nicer. Now, if I click on my title layer again, I scroll down, there's the animation that I've applied. It says blur. If I click on it, I can change it to any of the other ones. So let's do spin. I'm going to go back to the start. There it is, spinning in. Next, let's click on it again. Let's click on spin. Let's go to wipe. Let's see how wipe looks. And with all of these, if you click on these little dials here, these are your animation settings. So if I click on that, you can see I can also change the animation there, and I can change the duration. So all of these default to 0.4 seconds long, which is it's a good timeline. It's not too fast, not too slow, but depending on your particular needs, you might need to change this. So you could change it to 0.5, you could change it all the way up to 1 second, whatever you want to do with it, you can type it in there. Easing, this has this little animation, and I've done a separate video about all these different easing settings, but basically this little squiggly line here represents how fast that animation is going to happen. So in the case of natural, it's going to start slow, it's going to get faster as you see that line ramping up, and then it's going to get slow again. So that's how you read these, that is related to the speed. None is just a straight line where it's going to be the same speed throughout. And then with some of these, where it's relevant, you have a direction. So in the case of this one, in wipe, it's got a right pointing arrow. So that means those words in that text file are going to wipe in from the right. And then you could also do up, down, left, or right. So let me change that. Let's try appear. Let's see how appear looks. And this one doesn't work. Let me add some more words here. This is my sentence. And let me make this a little bigger. And let me change the color so it's a little easier to see. Let's do black. Okay, so now this is with appear on. So as you can see, each word pops up one at a time. That is appear. And when I only had one word, it didn't work very well because it's just one word. It just pops up and it just is the same as just appearing normally. So let's go on to the next one, fade. You can see when I hit the left arrow to return to the very start of my project, I'm on the first keyframe and there's nothing visible because you'll see what happens. Next is reveal. Reveal does a appear where it appears one at a time and the words pop up. And you can, as before, change the direction with the settings here. Right now it's set to pop up, but you could have them pop to the left. Let's see how that looks. So there we go. They kind of slide in from the right. It's a nice effect. And let's see what's next. Scale. Scales where they kind of pop in. They start small and then they pop into full size, one at a time. And our last one is slide. Let's see how slide looks. Let me change the direction on that. And you can see there's an animate by, so it'll pop up one word at a time in this case, or you could do line by line or paragraph by paragraph if you had a ton of text. So you can get more granular with those controls. And let's see how this looks. So there it is. They slide in one line at a time. So that's a brief demo of all the different animations that you can do for your text layers in Descript. If you want to go deeper, I recommend this video next.